Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we are taking Power Automate to the next level using Bytecode and AI tools. In my last video, we discussed about how we can build Power Apps screens visually with bytecoding, and I discussed about 2-3 tools which you can leverage to create the YAML code and directly paste those YAML code into your Power Apps so that it can build out the screens within minutes for you with the least amount of effort and aesthetically looking nice as well. So today we are talking about Power Automate, and the same thing we are going to do with Power Automate. We will bytecode Power Automate together with our scenarios, and then we are going to import those Power Automate so that everything should be ready for us. Only that part we need to change the connections, and then we would be good to go. So this can take down our time from hours to probably like into 5-10 minutes to build out any complex Power Automate or MS Flow which we want to do. As we talked about a couple of tools in my last video, that is vo.dev, that is from Vercel. So I am totally like inclined towards the tool because it gives what you need for the bytecoding. It gives you the entire preview while building out the applications, and it is true in context of Power Apps and as well as Power Automate. So again, I am going to take help of this tool, this AI tool, to bytecode to create the entire definition of workflow or flow, and then we will directly import that definition of our Microsoft Flow into Power Automate so that we can get our Power Automate or flow ready within minutes. So let's take a look on that. So to start with, I will suggest you just go to your flows, or like start, if you haven't created any flow anytime, then just create a template flow from Microsoft template, and then just what we want to do is like we want to just check the structure of our any flow so that we can give that same structure to our AI tool. I'm right clicking on any of my existing flow and I will say that export to package so that we can get a sample package. So if you haven't created anything, don't worry about it. Let's just create one sample one and then export it. So I will just say create, and I will create instant cloud flow. I will give it a name as test, and I will just simply say manual trigger. So it will create one test Power Automate that we can use as sample. I will just add one action, that send email. So this is just to extract the right export file which we can feed to our any AI tool to get the more complex Power Automate. So I'll just doing this hard coding. You need not to do anything. If you are already having any Power Automate, you just need to export that. But for those people who never created any Power Automate or flow anytime, so I will just say, okay, let's start with one simple one action flow. We'll save it and I will use that as our sample. So I'll go back because our flow is already saved, and I will say export and export as zip file so that I can get a zip file out of this flow. So I'll name that zip as test and just simply export it. So it downloaded this test zip file. I will open this and you will see in test I have this downloaded as test, and if I extract this one, I just want you to see like what components or what files we have as part of our Microsoft Flow. So if you see, I have this manifest file and there is one folder Microsoft Flow. So I will just open this into Notepad or Visual Studio Code, wherever you want to see. So it has this manifest, it has the JSON which contains the display name of the flow, package ID and the type and all other metadata which you need not to worry about. And the other folder is Microsoft Flow, which has one subfolder, that is flows, which has one manifest file which points to this folder, this feature I would say. And over here we have this APIs map, connection map and definition. So definition is the main JSON file which contains the entire body of your flow, like what actions we are doing. So this is basically a simple flow structure. So now what I am going to do with our bytecoding is that I am going to take this zip which we downloaded, and I will go to our tool v0.dev. as I said like earlier also, like it's free till some limited credits, so you can use it. And the limited credit is also good enough, like you can try multiple projects into it and then if you are familiar, if you are okay with this tool, then you may plan to go for a paid version, or like you may keep using the free one, like based on your requirement you can do that. And along with that, I also told about that Bolt New is again like one vibe coding AI tool, and the other one is Replit. So you can try the same solution into these three different tools and then judge like which one is better. I found this v0.dev is like far better in giving the end-to-end solution, so I'm using this for vibe coding. So now the important part is like we would be uploading the sample zip file over here and giving also our problem statement, that what I want to do. So I'll say I want to create one Power Automate to extract the users from SharePoint groups within a SharePoint site, and I am providing you the zip file so that you can read the structure and JSON and should give me output for my use case. So over here, if you are more elaborative about it, then you will get a proper solution. So for example, I will also provide my SharePoint site so that it can put that into the proper connection. So I'll say my site is this. If you are okay to share your site, then it's fine. And along with that, you can just attach your zip so that you can provide a sample, upload from your computer, and the sample which we downloaded just now. So I have given that to my v0.dev, and then once uploaded, I will give a follow-up prompt about the same use case. So now you can start seeing it like in the code preview, you will see that it may start generating the JSONs. So it's saying I have updated your Power Automate flow to extract users from SharePoint groups from my site, and it's giving me all the steps what it is doing. And in the right hand side, you can see like it's generating manifest JSON file. It's generating the entire code structure for us. So it created that folder, main folder flow. Under that, API is map.json, then definition.json that contains the entire JSON file which we are going to use for our use case of extracting the users from SharePoint. And in the manifest JSON, we'll have the reference manifestation of this folder, and this is the top level manifest JSON which has all the metadata associated. So I can download this code, and once this code is downloaded, you can open that folder. You can extract this folder. So I will say extract all, and once we extract that folder, we get the almost same structure, everything created. The only thing which is not there is like there is one more folder which Microsoft Flow expects. So I will say Microsoft.flow, and I will move this folder under inside. So I want to create the same structure so that my Power Automate while uploading should not be confused. So I have this flows, and under that I have flows subfolder, and everything is in place. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to zip them so that we can upload that to our Power Automate as a solution. So I will zip that and we'll say SPO group extraction, and over here this file is ready. I'll just copy this path and we'll go to our Power Automate, and in my flows I am going to start uploading or importing this newly created the vibe coded Power Automate, and I will provide the path, and then we'll see like it will require us to update the connections, then we'll be all set to go. So I am uploading our file. So our package is uploaded, and over here in the package content you can see like I have this connections to be updated. So I can say like okay, create a new connection, that's fine. It wants to connect to this Outlook connection, so I will just say okay. You can create a new connection or you can use the existing one, but just make sure that the existing connection should be valid. Otherwise you have to manually again set up once the flow is imported. So this connection to the SharePoint site, so you have to choose that, and this should also be the latest connection. So just make sure that all the connections which is being used should be valid, should be properly created. So once you start importing it, you will see that this package would be imported. If there is any error, then also it will give you a page where you can start saving this flow. So right now you see like import failed, but you can still save as a new flow and you can manually correct them. So most of the time, if there is any problem in the connections, then you may see this message save as flow, then just do some tweaking with the connection and then you are ready to go. So right now, if you see this one, so it is failed. So over here, what you can do, like you can just remove this SharePoint, get SharePoint group connection, and then can re-import this one or create a new action for this. Or you can just again like just do a wipe for and just say like this get connection is failing, get SharePoint group connection says 404, please fix it. So it will fix with your SharePoint site. So I'll just give that my SharePoint site name, because most of the time what happens, it failed because it doesn't recognize your tenant and it doesn't recognize your group name, whatever group name you want to give. So I'll just say this is my site, data from it. So it will update, you will get the updated definition.json. You can instead of like again like zipping the file, what you can do, you can just go and grab this updated JSON, the definition.json file, and then paste it. Copy this. You can go back to your this flow file and again open this inside folder, replace only this file. If you need not to do the entire zipping file again, so you just place this, go back, delete this earlier zip, and then again select both folders, send to zip, and name it as something so that you can import the zip. I'll again go back to my Power Automate. I will go over here and we will import, pick the latest connection which are active. Okay, and again we can save as new flow. We can do manual corrections if some minor corrections are still not done. Then okay, so over here the connection is read as invalid, so I will just select the latest connection, and the method, it removed that method, but I can still go back to my this JSON and just grab this endpoint, because this endpoint is removed because our connection was invalid. So I will just replace that like this so that it can give me the users from my group, and the group you can grab that from your SharePoint site. So I will just say what is my groups, and I have this one group that XMT owners, and over here everything else is fine. I will just check, there is one more connection error into my this one, so I will just pick the latest one, or you can just create a new connection altogether. And over here you can specify, you can read the users from the previous tab as email. Just do a test subject and test body. So if you don't have any connection problem, then it will be all straightforward, like import and then get your Power Automate running. If you have any connection errors, then it will not able to read, so you have to like manually select the proper connector, and then once the connector is ready, then you can just manually insert them, and once saved, you can start testing your flow. So this Power Automate maybe like we may be taking 30 minutes to build out from scratch, but with vibe coding tool you may build out into less than 5 minutes based on your iterations, based on how good you are prompting your use case to the any AI tool. So right now you can see like it ran fine, and it gave me the users from my this HTTP call, and once these users are given, I was able to send the email to this extracted users from that group. So the same think you can try with the multiple other use cases. So I want to give one more use case to this tool. So let's see like if we get a better, again like the result based on the new use case. So I will say I want to create a new flow. First of all, I will say clear everything, as I have new requirement now, so that it should not like append or add to my same flow. I want to create a new flow which should use MS Graph API with client ID and secret, and extract or give me users which have access on my SharePoint site. So you can specify this, and if it's a manual trigger, then just say like I will pass URL as input, and output should be list of users who have access to my site. So now again like it will use the memory, like the past sample we have already provided. So it will create a new folders and all the manifest definition.json for us, and that we can directly download. Again, we'll do some tweaking and then upload, and the things which seems to be complex to us would be done by this tool, and then we are going to just code together with this tool and then update and then simplify and achieve our end results. So now it again creating a definition.json, which is again all the actions and triggers together for our Power Automate. And once this is ready, we can try importing this solution, and then most of the work would be done by this tool for us. So I will just say download, and I will rename this zip as MS Graph extract user access, so that we can properly able to differentiate. So I will extract all the files given by this tool. Again, I will just create the same structure which Microsoft Flow expects. So I will say Microsoft.flow, move our flow folder inside this subfolder, and then zip these two files, compress MS Graph extract user, and again we will go to Power Automate, import this solution which has at least 80% of the work is already done for us, and we will be just redefining the connections, passing the client ID, passing the secret, and we will be all set to run our Power Automate. So I will just say going to the download folder, and I will upload the new extract file. So again over here most of the work is being done by this tool. We are just updating the connections, and if any error is there, then we are resolving that error. So 80% of the work is already being done with this tool, and we'll just update the connections. And this one is imported without any errors because our connections were up to date. So I can directly open the flow. So it's 100% accurate. I just need to provide the connections, proper connections, then we'll be all set to go. So you can see like multiple actions has been added with a precise accuracy. Most of the work of parsing JSON, apply to each, and everything is being done by this vibe coding tool. So it's great. If I run this, you will see like I have this input to be passed as client ID, client secret, so that it can access via that application. Over here SharePoint site URL, as your tenant ID, as your app client ID, as your AD app client ID secret. So all these being considered as an input, so I can start using this Entra ID application registration stuff. So if you have already registered your MS Graph API application, then you can go to your Entra ID to extract that app information. So over here I have opened this as your portal, and over here I will click Entra ID. It will open all the registered applications. So I can go to finding out any application which is being used to access my MS Graph, and there should be one, and over here I will use this app to make the connection. So application ID is this, so I will again open my this Azure tenant ID, not Azure application ID. I will paste it again. I'll go back, so I have this tenant ID, which is again one of the variables, so I'll pass as tenant ID, and I will use my, let's say, any other site. This one, this is a team site, so I'll pass on my this team site URL as part of first input, and then lastly, like, I have to pass the app client secret. So for this I will go to my this client secret. So over here I need to create one more client secret because all other values are now sanitized, so I cannot get it. So I'll just say new client secret, and I will use that value to make this connection, because the value is only available for once we create this new secret. So I'll copy this one, provide this, and I'll be all set to run this. So right now, one major thing, like, this application should be having permissions to make any call to our SharePoint site. So over here you can go to app permissions, you can search out the desired permission, that is at least sites.read, so that it can read the sites configuration. So site configuration, the permission is also part of sites metadata, so you have to provide this permissions. It's already given to my this. Otherwise you can do is add a permission, choose the MS graph, and then choose application permissions and sites dot, you will get all the permissions related to site you can provide. So just be cautious to use the full control one. So just use this site.read because we are just extracting the permissions, we are not going to write anything to it. So just be cautious with that permissioning part for any application. So once we do that, I will just run our flow, and okay, so this flow is currently turned off, so I need to turn it on. I will go to my flows, turn on, and then we again try to run our this flow. So this our flow ran successfully, and as part of this end result we got this JSON of permissions of the site. And over here you can see, like, in the get site permissions input, we are passing the MS graph endpoint and then filtering out the permissions and selecting and expanding the users and group, and out of that user and group it got the JSON out of it, and then we are composing the final list of users which are having unique permission on this site. So this way we actually vibe coded this entire flow using this tool. We did not write, we did not drag and drop any actions, we only like minorly we tweaked some of the stuff. Them is related to connections only, because when we are doing, like, we have to provide the active connections and proper site name and like whatever the attributes you want to pass in. So once you are able to craft that prompt properly, clearly, then it will work like charm, and it will cut down your development effort by 80%. Because I tried multiple use cases, multiple scenarios with building all these flows. I also tried creating 3-level approval flow. It worked like a charm. I just need to provide the proper connections, that's it. So again, like, it was a part of like AI literacy, where I want to just give you this tool where you can learn how you can just quickly do the Power Automate or the flows efficiently. And if you like this trick, do drop your comment, do like the video, to subscribe. So that is it for today. Thank you.